Hello YouTube. Well, good morning. It's about 5 a.m. right now on yet another morning walk. Nobody around. Beautiful park near my dad's place I'm currently staying at that you can walk through. Has trails. It has a little pond in the middle as well with a fountain, and it's really a great way to connect. And I always say this as well, the best way to find God, if you're in a place that you're not feeling his presence or are just in a lot of stress, doubt, worry, all these things of the world, which is the devil, then it's the best to go into nature to really feel where he is. You feel him when you ground, when you're in the sun, when you're in the forest, when you see animals. These are all things that are natural creations of him, and helps you to realize how to really live, because that is the whole purpose of every day, learning how to live. Not accumulation, not fulfilling desires. It's learning how to be present each day, be aligned each day, be in gratitude each day, and feel the moment he's giving you, because every moment is a blessing. You waking up and watching this is a blessing, or you waking up actually is the blessing. First off, still being able to do everything that you were able to do the last day. See, walk, speak, breathe, smell, hear, and then the bonus, everything else he gives you. It could be experiences, could be something you achieve, but without the first gift that he's given you and you appreciating that, the rest cannot be seen. And I used to live like that, where I thought everything was just owed to me. So I was never thankful for waking up. I thought that was owed to me. I thought the people in my life were owed to me. I thought things in my life were owed to me. And I had this entitlement attitude towards everything. And that was when I was living for ego, for the devil, and essentially thinking that the more things I accumulated of this world and showed people and valued myself with, the more I was winning. But it was simply a losing formula, and something that just allowed me to distract myself from the real purpose that I'm here to do. And that is given and showed to me each day. The more I'm aligned, like I said, with learning how to live, being grateful, being in peace, that is when everything comes to you, all the answers. When you're thinking, when you're in your head, when you're creating stories with your ego and allowing the devil to work through you with that of like, oh, if I get this and I can, these people will see this, or I'll feel this way. Those are all stories that you're making up in order to feel a feeling that you think is real, but it's all fake and an illusion. And I had that many times with women. And you're working for ego when you distract yourself more and more with hedonistic things. Lust being the biggest one for men, but it could be validation from others. It could be money. If money is your god, then that is the devil. You're chasing that and rushing to get that because you think that's what you need, and that's going to fix all your problems. But the true freedom is spiritual. It's never financial. You have countless stories of people that have everything outwardly, all the money, all the cars, yachts, millions in the bank, and they end their life because their spirit is not there, and they know that, and they can't experience this life because we're all spiritual beings. We are not physical beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. But the hardest part is that the physical experience and all the things you see outwardly they think are physical are not real, and those are run by the devil. All the distractions, like I said, the lust, the drinking, the drugs, the parties, all these things that are there to distract you and just get more and more shiny and more flashy to catch your eye. Those are the things you have to avoid and remove. I was stuck in that lifestyle for 4 years, maybe more, 5 years, when I was 21, because I had let somebody create a grudge in me and make me seek vengeance for them hurting me. But you realize that every experience is neutral, And it is only the meaning you give to it that creates a negative or positive experience. Everything is actually perfect. Everything that's happening to you is guiding you to where you're supposed to be. And that mentality will take you to places that are unimaginable if you adopt, like I said, learning how to be grateful and be at peace, and then knowing that everything is perfect and working in your favor. But after that, I let my ego create a story that I was a victim, that this person needed to be proved that I was different than that person that they heard in the beginning, and that they would one day see with me sleeping with the endless woman that I was someone that they had lost. But the funny thing is, that narrative, which was created when I was in a rehabilitation center in Ecuador, because my family didn't know what was wrong with me, I didn't know what was wrong with me, and they put me there. That narrative was created and maintained for years and years without ever actually seeing that person. And still to this day, I've not seen that person physically. And I, one day, out of ego as well, decided to message them on social media, send them videos of me with endless women like I thought they would respond to, and it was simply a block and a move on with their life. And that is why, one example, why working for ego is simply a trick, an illusion. Imagine losing 4 years for a story that you're telling yourself and a situation that you're telling yourself is going to happen, like the one that happened with me, and it goes completely the wrong way. And instead of learning from that, I thought, create another story where I add more to the fire, which is the ego, and send them another whatever it is, get in contact with them again and then send them more. And you think that the things externally that you're chasing with your ego and the devil are going to validate yourself to others, and they will see what you are. But that is simply a story you're telling yourself, and that will never give you peace. That will only give you more stress, anxiety. And I was constantly stressed to prove myself, constantly stressed to start over. And everything's a reset with the ego. You're only as good as your last accumulation or your last thing you achieve. So every day you're just pushing yourself more and more out of lack, thinking and telling yourself, oh, I'm not this, I'm nothing until I get this, or I don't feel good until I get this. And you're never able to actually feel good in the moment. And that is what living in the ego does. That's what society tells you to do. Accumulate more and more, and you have the ability to feel good because you've achieved something. But being able to live and learning how to live is the ultimate achievement, because many people don't know how to do that. They distract themselves, or they remove the work, because this is 24/7 work of being aligned, being at peace, being in the moment, with the distraction of accumulating and thinking the answers are outwards. So they spend years chasing this, chasing that, looking for a bigger feeling or story to tell themselves. But then they realize that the whole goal, like I'm telling you now, is learning how to appreciate the moment that you're being given by God and not chasing something external. And that is consistent work. The devil is always there in your mind, but so is God. So you have to learn to discern. I want to sit down, finish this. Learn to discern which is which, and getting to a place where you can actually enjoy the things that are being given to you and not using them as a way to fill this cup that is constantly empty. When you work for ego, your cup is always empty, because you get something, you feel good for a little bit, you see someone else that has something else because you're constantly comparing and wanting more and more, then you chase something else, and it's just a hamster wheel. And the trap that is comparison is always the devil. When you work for God, he does not compare. He knows everyone has their own path. You have your own path when you're aligned, and you just know you're being built internally for everything that's going to be attracted to you when you're ready. But when you're an ego, you think it's all a chasing game, and I have to get this, starting with, it could be money, it could be women, material things, whatever it is, to prove to other people, to, out of pride, out of ego. And I guess I did that for years with women, and it's only got me a fake illusion of a feeling. And then from there, everyone forgot, even I forget, the one I'm with or we're with. It was just simply just a blur and working for something that was not eternal. But getting out of that and realizing that I was going down a path that was simply going to kill me spiritually, that is when I connected with my coach and was able to go on this path now and this lifestyle, which is not missing the habits, being aligned, and you getting the answers from the one above that is eternal and that loves you. So it's crazy, the 180 I've had, the past few months, being able to speak like this, understand the world like this, compared to before, where I thought, there was low God, and I thought I was my own God because I was so stuck in my ego. And I thought the more I got, the more of a God I was, the more women I got, the more experiences I got, the more I showed other people something that, I was trying to show them out of lack, the more I was. So it's all illusion and false. So realize that. And your journey only starts when you remove, not when you add. So I want to throw that out quickly, as I started the day early, and we'll be going into the office today to work. So I hope you guys have a good day. Remove, like I said, and the habits are what's going to connect you. So waking up before 5 every day, training every day, twice a day with burpees, staying with macros, finding your macros, and leaning out so you can connect more. Like I said, it's all removing. Even removing fat is going to connect you like crazy. And then removing the vices is the most important. Any vices you have, drinking, smoking, lust, gambling, whatever it is that is giving you a feeling or fake desire, is all the devil. You have to remove that to connect with God, and so he can give you the purpose you're here to have. So everything is spiritual. Everything is what you don't see. That is the most real. And like I said, all the distractions are from this of this world. Everything that's going to tempt you is the devil and the things of this world. So get aligned, commit to the lifestyle, and I promise the best days of your life will go ahead, because I've had mine. Full peace, full fulfillment, and everything just gets attracted in the meantime. So as a consequence. So God bless. Keep killing it. And as always, until next time, keep killing it.